beautiful souls, and welcome to another episode of Whispers of Wisdom. I'm your host, Carrie Bandel, owner of Sacred Whispers Studio. I'm a psychic medium, empath, and healer with a passion for empowering others through wisdom and healing. Today, since we had an extra week in the month, we're exploring something a little different, a one episode topic on the sacred power of traditions. It's funny how life sometimes hands us these in between spaces. Maybe you've just completed something significant or you're about to embark on something new. And there you are, hanging in this mysterious middle ground, not quite where you were and not yet where you're going. Our culture doesn't give much value to these threshold moments. We're always rushing to the next thing, aren't we? What's next? What's the plan? But what if I told you that these transition spaces might just be the most spiritually potent moments of our lives? Think about it. Every spiritual tradition in the world recognizes the power of thresholds. The ancient Celts called them thin places where the veil between worlds grows transparent. Indigenous cultures worldwide have ceremonies marking transitions between life stages. Even in our modern world, we will honor graduations, weddings, retirements, all transitions. But I'm not just talking about the big life transitions. I'm talking about the small ones too. That moment between sleeping and waking, the pause between breaths, the space between seasons, and even this new newsletter, the bridging between two different monthly topics. These in between spaces have a unique magic to them because they're liminal, from the Latin word limen, meaning threshold. In limit space, we're not bound by the rules and patterns of what was or what will be. We're free in a way that we rarely experience. So, what happens in these transition spaces that make them so spiritually significant? First, transitions create openness. When we're between stories, when one chapter is closed but the next hasn't fully formed, we're actually in a state of profound receptivity. Our defenses are down, our certainties are paused. We're listening in a way we normally don't. Second, transitions invite surrender. There's a moment in any transition where you have to let go of control. The caterpillar doesn't micromanage its transformation into a butterfly, it surrenders to the process. And there's deep spiritual wisdom in that surrender, a recognition that some things are bigger than our planning and control. And third, transitions reveal our true nature. When the usual structures fall away, when we're not defined by the roles and responsibilities we normally carry, something else emerges, something authentic and essential. Many spiritual seekers deliberately create transition spaces through retreat, vision quests, or meditation precisely because they want to touch this essential self. I remember one of the most powerful transitions in my own life. I had just left behind a career that no longer served me, but hadn't yet found my path as a psychic medium. Those months of in between were terrifying and absolutely magical. Without the identity I'd carried for years, I found myself asking deeper questions. Who am I beyond my achievements? What truly mattered to me? What gifts am I here to share? In that liminal space, I could hear my soul's whispers more clearly than ever before. The guidance that eventually led me to this work came during those quiet, uncertain days when I wasn't rushing to be or do anything. So, how might you honor the transitions in your own life? First, recognize them. Notice when you're in a threshold space between jobs, relationships, homes, or even just in between seasons or major projects. Name it as a sacred time, not just an uncomfortable waiting period. Second, create small rituals. Humans have always marked traditions with ceremony because it helps us process the ending of one thing and welcome the beginning of another. It doesn't have to be elaborate. Lighting a candle, writing a letter to your future self, or creating an altar with symbols of what you're releasing and what you're calling in. Third, get comfortable with not knowing. The discomfort of transitions often comes from our resistance to uncertainty. But what if uncertainty isn't something to be fixed or rushed through? What if it's actually a gift, a space where anything is possible? Fourth, listen differently. In transitions, guidance often comes in whispers, symbols, and synchronicities rather than literal instruction. Your dreams might become more vivid. You might notice repeating patterns or messages. Pay attention to what resonates beyond rational understanding. Finally, be gentle with yourself. Transitions can bring up all kinds of emotions: grief for what's ending, anxiety about what's unknown, excitement about what's possible. All of these feelings are valid parts of the journey. I believe that how we navigate transitions reveals much about our spiritual maturity. Can we trust the process when we can't see the outcome? Can we find peace in the not knowing? Can we recognize the space between stories is often where the most beautiful new beginnings take root? If you're in a transition right now, whether by choice or circumstance, I invite you to see it as more than just uncomfortable waiting. See it as a sacred space. See it as an invitation to deeper wisdom. See it as the universe creating for something new to emerge in your life. And if you're feeling called to explore the transitions in your own life more deeply, I'd be honored to guide you in the right direction or support you through a personal reading. The spirits often speak most clearly during these threshold times, offering guidance that our logical minds might miss. Visit sacredwhispers1111.com to learn more about me or to join in on the weekly email topics. Until next time, may you find the magic in your in between spaces, and may every transition lead you closer to your authentic path. This is Whispers of Wisdom, and I'll see you next week when we begin our journey exploring trauma and healing. Blessings, beautiful souls.